In the frozen winter of 1959, deep within Russia's Ural Mountains, 9 experienced hikers led by Igor Dyatlov set out on an expedition. That was supposed to be routine. Their goal was to reach Mount Otortena Peak, ominously nicknamed the Mountain of the Dead, but the hikers never made it home. What rescuers discovered weeks later has haunted investigators, scientists, and conspiracy theorists for over 6 decades. It remains one of the strangest unsolved tragedies in modern history. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. When the group failed to report back, search teams were dispatched. What they found was chilling. The hikers' tent had been abandoned and cut open from the inside. Their boots, coats, and supplies were left behind. But the hikers themselves had fled into the night, many wearing only socks or underwear. Despite the deadly temperatures dropping to 30 C, the snow showed footprints bare, socked, and booted, all leading away from camp. Something had terrified the group so badly that they slashed their way out of the tent and ran into the darkness of the mountain, and the bodies were found scattered across the landscape. 6 had died from hypothermia, but 3 showed shocking internal injuries, fractured skulls, broken ribs, and trauma so severe it was compared to a car crash, yet their skin showed no external wounds. Even stranger, 1 hiker was missing their eyes, eyebrows, and tongue. Radiation was detected on some of their clothing, and the mystery deepened further when locals reported strange lights in the sky on the same night the hikers died. Theories to explain what happened range from the natural to the supernatural. Some scientists argue that a rare slab avalanche crushed the tent and forced the hikers to flee. Others point to infrasound low-frequency sound waves generated by the wind that could have induced panic and disorientation. Military theories suggest secret weapon tests may have killed the hikers. And of course, some believe it was something far stranger: UFOs, creatures of the mountains, or forces beyond our understanding. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the investigation and concluded that an avalanche caused the tragedy. But critics argue the evidence doesn't fully fit. Why did the injuries look more like car crash trauma? Why did the group not attempt to return to the tent? And what about the missing eyes and tongue? These questions remain unanswered. The Dyatlov Pass Incident is not just a tragic story, it's a riddle written in snow and silence. More than 60 years later, the mountain still keeps its secrets. So what do you believe? Was it simply the brutal force of nature or something much darker? Voynich Manuscript. In the world of books and ancient texts, there is one volume that stands above all others as the most baffling manuscript ever discovered. Known as the Voynich Manuscript, this mysterious book has puzzled scholars, codebreakers, and cryptographers for over a century. Its pages are filled with strange plants that don't exist, diagrams of stars and zodiac symbols, and nude figures bathing in bizarre pools connected by pipes. But what makes it truly unexplainable is that the entire book, over 240 pages, is written in a language that no one on Earth can read. The manuscript first came to light in 1912, when a Polish book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich purchased it from an Italian Jesuit library. He immediately realized it was unusual, and he believed he had found a priceless treasure. Over the years, experts from around the world have tried to decode its strange writing system, but every attempt has failed. The language has no known roots, no translation, and no recognizable grammar. It has been tested against hundreds of known alphabets and codes, from ancient Hebrew to modern ciphers, and none have matched. The book is divided into sections. The botanical section contains drawings of plants that no botanist has ever identified, leaves and flowers that seem half real, half imagined. The astronomical section includes zodiac symbols, moons and stars arranged in circular patterns. The most bizarre section is the so-called balneological section, where women are drawn inside strange pools connected by elaborate pipe systems. Was it a book of medicine, astrology, alchemy, or something else entirely? During both World War I and World War II, Some of the best cryptographers in the world attempted to break the Voynich code, including American and British intelligence experts trained in code breaking. Even with their advanced skills, they found nothing. Some concluded it must be a hoax and elaborate, fake meant to trick scholars into wasting their time. But when the parchment was carbon dated in 2009, the results showed it was real. The animal skin used to make the pages dated to the early 1400s. In other words, the manuscript is at least 600 years old, proving it could not have been invented by Voynich himself. Modern computers and artificial intelligence have also been applied to the puzzle. Some results suggest the writing has the structure of a natural language, repeated words, patterns and rules that resemble human communication. But if it is a real language, it is one that has been completely lost to history. Others argue it may be an invented system, a cipher created by someone with extraordinary skill in deception. What do you think? Is it real knowledge waiting to be discovered, or just an elaborate trick of history? To this day, the Voynich Manuscript sits in the Beinecke Rare Book Library at Yale University, locked away but available for researchers to study. And yet, despite over a century of analysis, the book still refuses to give up its secrets. Is the Voynich Manuscript a forgotten medical text, written in a lost language? A secret code meant for a hidden society? Or perhaps a grand medieval hoax that fooled us all? Whatever the truth, the Voynich Manuscript remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the written word, an unsolved riddle that whispers to us from across the centuries. The WOW signal. On a warm August night in 1977, at Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope, astronomer Jerry Amon was scanning the skies for signs of intelligent life. The search was routine, until something extraordinary appeared on the telescope's data printout. A powerful, narrowband radio signal blasted from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. It lasted exactly 72 seconds, the maximum length of time. The telescope could observe one spot in the sky. The signal was so strong, so clean, and so unusual that Amon circled it in red ink and scribbled a single word in the margin: "Wow." And from that moment, the mystery was born. The WOW signal has been called the most promising evidence for extraterrestrial intelligence ever recorded. It wasn't random static, and it wasn't background noise. Its frequency was 1420 megahertz, known as the hydrogen line. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, and many scientists believe that if an alien civilization wanted to make contact, they would transmit on this exact frequency. To many, it looked like a cosmic beacon, an intentional signal from beyond the stars. But the strangest part of the WOW signal is that it was never heard again. Despite decades of follow-up searches by astronomers around the world, using more advanced telescopes, no repeat signal has ever been detected from that location in space. It was a one-time event, an unanswered call across the galaxy. Explanations have been debated for over 40 years. Some scientists suggested the signal came from Earth, perhaps military communication or interference. But the telescope used two feed horns, pointed at slightly different places in the sky. One detected the signal, the other did not, ruling out most Earth-based interference. Others proposed it could have been a natural source, such as a comet or interstellar scintillation. In 2015, a new theory suggested the culprit was a pair of comets that passed near the observed region, releasing hydrogen clouds that could mimic the signal. For a time, it seemed the mystery had been solved. But when astronomers re-examined the data, they discovered the comets were not in the right position during the detection. In addition, hydrogen clouds from comets would not have produced such a strong, narrow, and clean signal. The comet theory collapsed. Once again, the WOW signal was unexplained. To this day, no natural phenomenon has been proven to match the characteristics of the WOW signal. That leaves only two possibilities. Either it was a rare, unknown cosmic event, or it was indeed an artificial transmission from another civilization, accidentally overheard by humanity. The Mary Celeste. The ocean has always been a place of mystery. But few stories are as chilling as that of the Mary Celeste, the most famous ghost ship in history. On November 7, 1872, the brigantine Mary Celeste set sail from New York, bound for Genoa, Italy. On board were Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and a crew of 7 men. The ship carried a cargo of 700 barrels of industrial alcohol. By all accounts, the voyage began smoothly, but within a month, the Mary Celeste would become a legend of the sea. On December 4, 1872. Another ship, the DEI Gracia, spotted the Mary Celeste adrift in the Atlantic Ocean, about 400 miles east of the Azores. The crew approached cautiously. The sails were partly set, the ship was moving steadily, and there was no sign of distress. But when they boarded, they were stunned. The Mary Celeste was completely abandoned. The lifeboat was missing, but the ship itself was seaworthy. With 6 months of food and water still in the hold, the details were haunting. The captain's logbook ended suddenly with nothing unusual recorded. The crew's belongings were untouched, their clothing and pipes left behind. A child's toys still rested in the captain's cabin. Even breakfast seemed to have been interrupted. Food was left on the table as if the crew had vanished in an instant. The cargo was intact, except for a few empty barrels of alcohol that may have leaked. Yet there was no evidence of fire, struggle, or piracy. What could cause a seasoned captain and his crew to abandon a perfectly good ship in the middle of the ocean? Countless theories have been proposed. Some argue that fumes from the alcohol cargo may have leaked, leading the crew to fear an explosion. In a panic, they may have lowered the lifeboat and tied it to the ship, but if the rope broke, the lifeboat would have drifted away, leaving them stranded at sea. Others suggest a sudden waterspout or seaquake could have shaken the ship, convincing the captain that the vessel was doomed. Pirates, mutiny, and foul play have also been suggested, though no signs of violence were ever found. More imaginative theories range from sea monsters to alien abductions. The truth remains elusive. An official inquiry found no evidence of wrongdoing. The crew of the DEI Gracia was cleared of suspicion, and the Mary Celeste was eventually returned to service. But the mystery of its abandoned voyage never faded. The story spread through newspapers and books, capturing the imagination of the world. Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, even wrote a fictionalized account that cemented the Mary Celeste's place in popular culture. Today, the Mary Celeste remains the most famous ghost ship of all time. Her empty decks are a reminder of the dangers and mysteries that still haunt the seas. A ship without its crew, drifting silently across the ocean, a story that continues to defy explanation. So what do you think happened on board the Mary Celeste? Was it fear, fate, or something far more mysterious? From the icy peaks of Dyatlov Pass to the cryptic Voynich Manuscript, to the fleeting wow signal from the stars, and the ghostly Mary Celeste, these stories remind us that the world is filled with mysteries still unexplained. Some may be solved one day, while others may remain forever in the shadows. Which of these mysteries captured your imagination the most? Share your theories below, and don't forget to subscribe to Mystery Hub Facts, where the unknown is only the beginning.